Hey everyone, this is Bales. I'm at FantasyLabs looking at player models and wanted to show you how to use our multi-lineup tools. So this is something we just upgraded and we made the algorithm behind it, I think, a bit tighter, and it's going to produce lineups that are closer to what you probably are looking for based on the parameters that you set based on your particular model, the players you choose, and so on. So this works in conjunction now with our liking feature and player pools. So this allows you the ability to just like a player if you'd like. You can unlike all, like all, and when you like a player, it basically just means that you're willing to use him in the multi-lineup tool. So it's an easy way to immediately just narrow down the pool of players to whatever you want. So let's just like a few players at each position. And you can do this by, so at running back, we'll unlike all, and we'll say that we want to use this group of players. At receiver, because of stacking, we'll just leave them all liked. At tight end, we'll like a bunch of guys. At receiver, you'd also want to just manually like the players who you like, but make sure they're matched up with quarterbacks if you're trying to force stacks. So when you go to the multi-lineup tool, you'll see the ability to force a quarterback with at least one pass catcher on his team. So the simple way to use the multi-lineup tool is to select those players that you'd like, go there, click a few things. So the number of lineups, the minimum salary cap, which you can generally leave at 99, the max exposure you want to a player. So that's the percentage of lineups that you would want a player never in above. So we'll say 50%. We don't want any of those players in more than half of lineups. Max players on the same team. Because we're on DraftKings, the flex. So we'll say we don't want a tight end in the flex. And then a couple other rules and the stacking area, which I'll show you later. So we generate lineups. We're looking at 10 here, and we get 10 lineups, and it has only the players who we selected, none in more than half of lineups. So if you want to keep these lineups, you can have them selected. So we can select none and manually go through and pick the ones that we like, or you can just blindly accept all of them, knowing that only the players who are in your player pool can show up in these. And then when you have the lineups that you like, you can hit Save Lineups, and they will go to the My Lineups tab. And the My Lineups tab, this is actually the My Lineups page. So we have the page here if you want to see everything in one area, but within models, we now have a lineups tab so that you don't need to have another browser open. You can always just, if you'd like, click on this tab and you'll be able to see all of your lineups, all of your exposures, everything. You can remove lineups. You can now edit lineups, and I'll have a tutorial on that. So you can do that all within the multi-lineup tool here. You can also, if you'd like, change the exposure manually right here. So we generate these lineups and say we don't want Le'Veon in 100%, we want him in 40% of lineups. Save that, regenerate the lineups, and Le'Veon will come close to 40%. And then so he's in 40%, 4 of the 10, and then we build around there. You can sort the lineups if you want to look at which ones have the lowest average ownership projection, and things like that. Ratings, projected ceiling for tournaments, whatever you'd like. A more advanced way to use this is to incorporate stacks or groups. So you can use our stacks builder here to build stacks based on your model. So these are the top 5 quarterback to or top 6 quarterback to receiver combinations that could be generated based on the players who you like. You can do quarterback to 2 receivers if you would prefer, and then you can save those groups, and it'll go to this area called My Groups. You can also build a group manually just by locking in players. So we can just lock in certain guys, say that we want that core, save to My Groups, and it will show up right there. And then you can build your lineups from here and use that core in however many of the lineups you'd like. So let's say that we want that core of 4 players that we just created in 80% of lineups, and we want to generate 25 lineups. We'll do that, hit a couple other filters, generate the lineups, and it will force those players into 80% and then build around that. And so that's what we that's basically what we have here. You can pick the lineups you like, do everything you want with exposure, change this exposure, play around with it, save the lineups, and they will go to the My Lineups tab where you can see everything, export it right to DraftKings or FanDuel, and edit as you'd like here. So that's really the basis behind this tool. You can use our lineup builder in a bunch of different ways. You can optimize a lineup based on your model. You can build it in a traditional way like you would on DraftKings or FanDuel. You can build it around stacks. You can use the player pool to select guys who could potentially be in the lineups and then generate lineups around that. And you can now edit on the lineup page. So we want to make it as easy and quick as possible to generate really, really quality lineups.